Hello, I'm Evelyn Linwood. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Today's video is going to be a combination vlog and map making video, not like a tutorial, just the process that I'm going through as I try and redraw my map from my debut novel. But I also have a really big announcement. I finished my draft. Project Gold that I've been working on, and I keep saying, oh, I'm almost done. It's done. I still have to edit, obviously. But honestly, I like editing more than drafting. Don't tell anyone. So my plan and hope is to have that book out by Thanksgiving. I can't guarantee that, but it will definitely be out this year. That is the sequel to Showing Silver. Did I call it Project Gold? Yes, I did. Okay. Title reveal coming when I'm certain of my publication date. I will reveal the title. Now, what else is going on? So, since I finished my first draft, which I call a discovery draft, really. I don't know why I keep calling it a first draft here. Also, wait. I gotta show you my Kanban. How satisfying is that? So what you were looking at, Project Gold was on the top, and it was incredibly satisfying for me to move those last couple of sticky notes. Project Gold is on the bottom. That one is in edits. I have not been focusing on it, which is why it's moving so slowly. Yeah. So the plan is this week I will not be touching Project Gold. I will just let it sit, give me a little bit of distance from it. It took long enough to write that I feel like I already have a good deal of distance from portions of the book, which is not a good thing, but that's how it turned out. So I'm only going to do 1 week. Normally I'd do a month. Yeah. So project, what was I saying? So this week I may delve back into Project King. I feel like it'd be nice to get moving on that one again, but it is, again, really not my main priority right now. My priority will be Project Gold. So the first thing I'm going to do next week will be to have, I'll do a read through. And on that read through, I leave comments behind for myself and I color code them. Let me flip to my goal thing. I forget which all colors I use. So I do one pass where I make the comments. And then I have red, orange, yellow, blue, purple, and green. Red is for like structural issues, I think. Orange was for, I can't remember, but I have it listed in my document. Yellow is for consistency errors. Blue is for character details. Purple is for world details. And then green is like line level issues. So I do one pass for each of those. And then like a final pass to make sure everything sounds normal and fine. And then I will send it off to beta readers. And that will be, I mean, hopefully it won't take too long. Usually when I'm working with like that particular edit, the first edit, the comments edit, it goes relatively quickly, unless I find that like I need to add in a scene or something, or cut scene or rewrite something. That might take a little longer, but it is my hope to give it to beta readers by mid-September at the latest. And then obviously I'll do an edit based on their feedback. So that would probably be in October. And then copy edits and formatting and everything. And yeah, some books need more than 2 major edits, but I feel like this one came out pretty solid because I planned it better than I usually plan. Not that there's anything wrong with pantsing, but like I had a view for where I was going more so than I usually do. So I didn't have just like a random, I usually have to cut more because I overwrite and I have random scenes that aren't really significant. In this case, I might have to add a couple, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, so that's what's next for that. And then this week I'm also updating my map. I don't know if I'll get like the final version of my map, but I will at least start that process. And along with that, I spoke to my original map artist, the one who did the version in book 1, and you know, he did a good job. I just had the issue with my lake and the 2 locations being not quite where I wanted them to be was actually my error, not my map maker's. Yeah, but so he will be redoing the map as well. His version is not going to go in the sequel. That will be my version. But his version will be a full color version. And when it's ready, I will be giving that to newsletter subscribers. Not selling it, just sharing it. So I'm excited about that too, because I've seen his full color maps and I love them. Yeah, so that's where I am. I'm going to have to figure out how to like film me drawing. I think there's a way to just like screen capture an iPad and then I'll probably talk over it after. We'll see. I'm not really sure how that works. But it'll be a good learning experience for me, and I hope you'll bear with me for the rest of this video. Whew, we have humidity, although I think it's about to rain, so might feel better in a minute. Oh no, it started. If I cut off suddenly, it's because thunder. Yeah, so today is Wednesday. I think the last clip was actually from yesterday. Yeah. Because Monday was like housework day, so I didn't have, yeah. Anyway, so I spent this morning, instead of doing my map, which I will be doing this afternoon, I had to charge my Apple Pencil and figure out how to screen record on an iPad, which was challenging. So I spent this morning looking for like local artisan fairs, because I do crochet on the side, and I want to start like selling that. It's a hobby, but gotta pay for the books somehow. Anyway, so I was looking for local artisan fairs to join. Ideally, I would have my book, and then I would have like tangentially related crochet, so like fantasy based crochet. I do like stuffies, amigurumi, that type of thing. So I was looking for that, and then I also reclaimed my Google Play account, which I had abandoned. And by abandoned, I mean I just wasn't logged in. I had to figure out how to get back in. And so when I first published my book, I published on Amazon, Apple, Kobo, and BarnesandNoble.com. And I had started the process on Google Play, but I didn't really understand the website. I think I had actually published it, and I just like deactivated it because I was confused and stuff. But I went in and I tried to reactivate my book, and it's been too long, so I had to like message the help people there. So hopefully I hear back. And then, of course, I was making like a few phone calls that aren't writing related. They were just kind of... I thought I silenced that. So I made a few like life phone calls. And then, yeah, this afternoon I get to play with my map and screen record that for you. And then I wanted to get back into editing. Not Project Gold, but Project King. I've been out of it for long enough. I think I have to reread the previous chapter. because there were like there's I think 3 scenes I need to reread. 3 or 4 scenes. Which is better than having to reread the whole thing, but I do kind of wish I had not abandoned it for as long as I did, which, yes, I had priorities. I had to finish Project Gold, that draft, but yeah. So I'll probably dive back into that tomorrow because I really want to get the map for Project Gold done today. And it may be that I can only do a rough draft today, which is fine. I just need something. I need to get started, get the ball rolling there. And I did mention, I talked to the previous artist. We're actually, like, we have a personal relationship as well as professional, so we're, like, close. And I can't remember what I was trying to say. So, the way that maps are is very, like, the artist made the edges of my land, but they're my land. So I will be tracing kind of the edges of the original map to get the shape of everything the same. And he's... shh. And the artist is fine with that. Yeah, so just wanted to preface it with that because it feels a little strange to be tracing someone else's work, but it is, again, it's my IP, and that's just where it happens to be recorded. So, I'll be tracing the edges of shapes of things, but I'll be redrawing by hand everything else. And then I think that's where I am. I still have a lot of, like, little to-dos I want to get done this week, which probably won't show up in this video. I do want to put an FAQ section on my website for my first 2 books. So that's Showing Silver, that's already out, and Project Gold, that's coming out soon. Oh, by soon I mean this fall. And then I need to get the blurb up for Project Gold. And I want to reach out to more people about reviewing Showing Silver. So I don't know if that'll be this week or next week, but I want to get on that. I have like a whole before I publish to-do list, and there's so much on it, it's ridiculous, which was true the first time around as well. But it almost feels more daunting this time, which is wild. Anyway, I'll get right on that. Okay, so this is me starting in on my drawing. And I did mention that I will be tracing my kind of edges of my country. And some of the roads too. That's kind of how it works with maps. It's the author's IP, even if the artist drew it. It's kind of a weird thing. My artist was cool with it. So, I would, if you're ever going to do this kind of thing, definitely talk to your artist first. Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to talk the whole time because there's not really that much to talk about. This is just me kind of being a perfectionist about drawing along the edge. I might even wind up, like, changing the brush I use and stuff later, but I wanted to get the main stuff down. Me again. So this is one of the areas on the original map that wasn't quite accurate. If you see Oak Lyra and the Patchwork Hearth, they are meant to be like right next to each other. So this is me kind of trying to figure out how a road on either side of it would look, because that's kind of what I had intended in my writing, but the map was made before I wrote. So I kind of forgot the layout I had on the map. Pantser problems, and it's been bugging me since the book released. So yeah, here I am fixing my roads, and I also add a few, you'll see, and that's just because like not all the roads made it into the book. Not all the roads were relevant. Obviously there's more roads than on any given map, really, but yeah. So today you will not see me finish this map. I just get like the main stuff in place. But right now on screen you should see me working on the thing that has haunted me, my lake. This is not a man-made lake. It was never meant to look like a bird. It was meant to look like a lake that has a couple bumps on it that a very whimsical person might say, hey, that kind of looks like a bird. Like when you're looking at shapes in the clouds. It's meant to be natural. So as you can see, it takes me a couple of tries to get it right. And I give myself kind of a guide for one of them. And let's just see how it goes. And then, so after this, I will just kind of outline my other bodies of water, and then you'll get to see kind of the final look of the general placement of things. I still have to go in and like draw my forests and mountains and stuff. That will not be traced. That will be kind of my version of what that looks like. It'll be across the same area. Yeah. Oh, it is such a relief to have this lake look like a natural lake. At least relatively natural. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave my map making. Obviously, it's not done. I'm actually going to go in and like redo all the lines I just did. I needed to trace them just so that I had them kind of separate from the original map. I still want to go in and kind of redo it in my style because a lot of the like wiggles and kind of precise, a lot of that is really the map maker's style. It's not actually key to like the shape of my landmass. So I want to go in and do it more in my style, not a tracing, truly drawing the map. Yeah, so I have a lot of work to do on that map. But after I do that, I can kind of go in and actually draw the forests and the mountains and the desert bits and stuff like that. What else? Do let me know what you thought of the background music. I didn't want to leave like dead silence, so I put some quiet music in there that's like copyright free. So let me know what you think of that. And then before I close out, I forgot to show you guys when I was working on Project Gold. I said I was going to use this 24-hour novel tracker. I got up to 10 and a half hours, and that's where I finished. And to my very, very great surprise, you guys, I was having like really good flow while I was working on it. Normally my like good pace is about 800 words per hour. And while I was working on this, it was like between 1,000 and 1,200. Which is very fast for me, and I am kind of hoping that's like a new pace, but it's probably just that I was getting to the end of the book. Beyond that, I did mention that I was going to reread kind of the last chapter or so in Project King before I dive into that. I did do my rereading. I'm currently on chapter 17 of 37 in a developmental edit. I have one scene that I'm kind of drastically rewriting, so it's almost like adding a scene, but not quite. One scene I have to add in that's probably going to be pretty short, but I really think it's important. And then one scene that's going to be just like a basic edit, which I've actually edited that scene before, so I'm not too worried about it. I just want to go over it real quick to make sure it still makes sense. So I'm hoping to finish chapter 17 this week. That's today and tomorrow, which is, 3 scenes total? Yeah, 3 scenes total. And then maybe I'll get into chapter 18, but I doubt it. And then next week, I'm going to dive back into Project Gold. So Project King will go back on the back burner because I really, really want to get this edit for Project Gold done so that I can put it in beta reader hands and get it like as polished as possible before publication this fall. And so that's where I'll leave this. Next week's video will be me looking for comp titles for Showing Silver, Project Gold, and Project King if I have time. So we'll go through like how I do that. I've never been very good at it, but I'm trying a new strategy, so we'll see how that goes. How could I forget? I have news. So Showing Silver, my debut novel, was originally published on Amazon, Apple, Kobo, and Barnes & Noble. It is now available on Google Play. I will include the link in the comments below, along with the link to the other places to find the book. Yeah, but I'm so excited. It was way easier than I thought it was going to be. For whatever reason, I found Google Play really overwhelming when I was first trying to publish, and I just decided to take it off my plate and never put my book there. But it's there now. It's available, and yeah. Ow. My desk attacked me. If you watch this far, thank you. If you'd put like a little globe emoji in the comments, let me know that you actually made it to the end of the video. That would help me tremendously. And I will see you next time.